Hi, in this video we will learn about scatter charts. These charts are most usefully when you want to see the relationship between two variables. In our case we have some cities, random cities, and the number of population, so population value, and total vehicles from that city. Let's try to create a scatter chart and go into the details. So I'm going to select the columns with our values and going to insert, and here on the mini icons on the charts tab we have scatter. Now first, when we create this type of chart, the title doesn't say nothing, so we can delete. And now we must customize. Let's decrease the size of the horizontal axis, also for the vertical. And now let's see which are the values that can explain us the relationship between our columns. As you can see, we have some cities where even if the population it's almost 3.5 million, we don't have so many vehicles. But also we have cities where for the, let's say, more than 3 million population, there are many vehicles. So this is the behaviors of our cities, vehicles versus population. To be more readable, we can play with our, let's say, axes, and we'll try to insert some details for our element. For example, axis styles. On the primary vertical we have the vehicles, and also I will insert the axis for horizontal where we have population. And here we go. Now we can also insert a title. So chart title on the top, population versus number of vehicles. Here we go. And now we can decrease and try to, let's say, make more readable the scatter charts in terms of values. For example, in our axis options, the minimum value, I think we can set it to 150, okay, 1000. And also on the population, I think we can set on the, let's say, 700,000. Okay, so here we go. This is our chart, and now we'll see the bubble chart, which is mainly almost the same as scatter plot charts, but adding a third dimension. In fact, the bubble chart will give us the bubble size. So we have the same principles on the scatter, but we can add third dimension, which will give us the size, let's say, of the scatter. So the size, in our case, of the bubble. For this, I got a companies list with turnover, profit, and salary average, and I'm gonna create a bubble from, let's say, an outside cell of our table. So I will insert manually the data just to understand better the way that we need to create the bubble chart. So click outside the table, going to insert, mini icons from chart tabs, and we have bubble chart. Here we go. I'm gonna increase the size just to be more easy to read. and right click on the chart, select data, and here we can add series. First we need to give a series name. For a series name, in this case, let's say that we have the company efficiency, just for a sample. Then we have X values, where we want to give the turnover. Then we have on the Y values, we have profit. So these are our axes. We have values for turnover and values for profit. And the series bubble size, so the third dimension, which is added in a scalar comparison, it's to have the salary average. So the size of the bubble, if it will be the biggest, means that the entry will have the most big salary from our list. I'm gonna click OK, and let's see what we had. So this is the bubble chart, and as you can see, we have some negative values because the bubbles can be sometimes bigger because the salary is big, but if they are near the minimum value of our turnover or of our profit, they can go into the negative side, even of the X or even of the Y. But in our case, let's try to set a minimum value for each axis, just for a better readable way. So I'm gonna click the axis, I'm going to home and increase the font, the size, also for the vertical. I'm going to insert some elements. So I'm going to design, add chart element, and I will insert the primary horizontal title. In our case, it's the turnover. And then, turnover. And then I'm going to insert the axis title for vertical. In our case, this will be the profit. And now I want to, let's say, right click, format axis for the horizontal, and I want to have the minimum of 0 and the maximum is okay. The same thing I'm going to create 0 for the vertical, and here we go. Now it's more better. I'm gonna click on the bubble and I'm gonna show you how to work to be more readable. In this case, you see that there are many bubbles that are overridden. I'm going to right click, format data series, and let's try to make them width of bubbles. So now it's more clear. Okay, and let's give them a color. So if you want to have a more visible, it's recommended to have, let's say, a light color. Sorry, click again on the bubble and choose a light color, just for you to see the differences between them.